Hey guys, guess what? I've got an awesome guest with me today, and you guys need to sit tight because I promise you, his story, his journey, his struggle with all that he faced with weight issues, you want to hear his story. Today, we have, of course, Marlene, the Bahamian vegan, in the house. Before I forget and introduce myself, we have with us a young man that I've known for many years. I mean, I've been following his story on Facebook, but prior to following his story on Facebook, I was a teacher at a school that he went to here in the Bahamas. It was Bahamas Academy. And in those days, I knew him as Tesero. So we are going to welcome him to our platform, Something Better. Come on, guys, give him a chair, give him a chair. Come on, put some thumbs up in that chat. Hey, Tesero, TJ, whatever you want to call him, welcome to Something Better. Hey, what's up?
Hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Tesero or TJ Forbes, and it's nice to meet you all.
So happy to have you. He's so formal, isn't he? You were talking behind the scenes. And I'm like, wait a minute, we got to record this because we're going to miss all the good stuff. And we
Yeah.
don't want to miss anything. So if you haven't done so already, please do us a favor, like, subscribe, share, and comment. Remember, we're going to be coming to you with lots of beautiful journeys like Cicero's, but we're going to dive right in. So come on, tell our audience, tell my Something Better family a little bit about yourself. Who were you before this transformation began?
Okay. Just to give you a clue in. So, I before the transformation began, I weighed 500 pounds. I got that high. And even going back further, yeah, I was just I think, and we were about to talk about this before we went on. I was really into my work, and I think that's kind of where a lot of the weight came from. I was always been focused. I've always been a hard worker, but then we maybe got a little bit of imbalance in there. And I'd actually done some studies on why I gained that weight, and I think one of the reasons is, and Marlene knew this, me as this as well. In high school, I was actually an athlete. And one of the things that I've learned through my research is oftentimes when you are an athlete or you're very extremely active when you're younger, oftentimes when you get into a stage of life where you become busy and that activity stops, the diet that you maintained with all of that activity usually doesn't stop. And so what ends up happening to a lot of former athletes is they gain a tremendous amount of weight because their diet is still going on as if they're still that active. However, I got really serious into my college and my studying, and then after that, really into my career. So the activity slowed down tremendously, and my diet did not reflect that.
Didn't
And
adjust,
again,
yeah.
yeah. And oftentimes, I wouldn't say that that's always your fault. Another thing I learned through research is oftentimes your body needs time to adjust because your body still thinks that you're that athlete. So it's still giving you those hunger sensations as if it needs this much food to survive. So it's something that you probably just want to be aware of if you used to be an athlete and trying to understand that, that's normal to have those kinds of urges and stuff like that. But your activity level does need to match how much you're eating, especially if you're a former athlete. So that's one of the reasons why I found myself at 500 pounds.
Yeah, that's very true. I have noticed that over the years with people, like sometimes you say, like for instance, I would, of course, when I was a young person, a younger girl, go to high school with athletes, and I've seen that. I've seen that. I have seen where they're not the same slim physique or in shape because it takes an adjustment. They're not as active, you're not moving like you used to. So that's very true. You're very right in that regard. May I ask you another question? At what moment in your life did you say, hey, enough is enough? I have to change my life. What was that turning point for you?
That's a very interesting question. And I think for a lot of people, oftentimes it's a health issue or maybe some bottom point. Mine was almost like an accident. So at one point, again, I told you, I can confess I was a workaholic. And I would just work, 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 work. And I actually had to travel for work, and I had to go to a conference for work in Denver, Colorado. By accident, I showed up there 2 days early, and I had nothing else to do because the conference had not started and my calendar was blocked off with nothing to do. So what I
What
did
are
is
you talking about? You mean tell me, wait a minute. So your calendar told you to leave 2 days early, which was a
yeah,
mistake, and this was a mistake.
yes, the whole thing, me being there was a mistake. And with nothing to do, finally, with nothing to do, finally I was disconnected from everything and I had time to think and time to reflect. I went out and just explored Colorado, which they have a lot of mountains there. Me being from the Bahamas, me living in Florida, I'm not used to these mountains. So I felt like
Yeah.
inspired and I was reflecting a lot. And one of the things that I reflected on, and I was like, TJ, you're so good at keeping promises. Like if I make a promise to someone, like Marlene, if I said I'm gonna be here, we're gonna talk, I would die before I break that promise, right? Because
Aw.
when you make promises to people and you break them, they can't trust you. But whenever I make a promise to myself, nah, I'll do it. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do
Yeah.
it later. But you get the same relation. Eventually, if you keep breaking promises to yourself, you'll never believe anything you say. So I thought
Hmm.
at that moment, like I need to start keeping promises to myself the way I would keep it to someone else. So I'm gonna make a commitment to myself, and the way that I'm gonna treat that, I'm literally going to imagine I've made that promise to a coworker or I made that to a family member, and I'm gonna keep it no matter what. I'm going to prioritize it. And at that moment, I said, I'm going to start with daily walks and I'm going to walk every day. And I was just in the beginning, I said, I'll just do it till the end of the month. And then I'm going to
Okay.
completely cut out sugar. I'm not going to eat anything with sugar in it for until the end of the month. The end of the month turned into the end of the summer. The end of the summer turned into the end of the year. The end of the year got us all the way here, right? Two and a half years later, here we are, just there.
Wow.
And I just did that literally by every day when I have that choice to say, are you not going to go for this walk today? I imagine, hey, you promised this person that you would do this,
Mm,
and you can't not do it because you said you would do it already. So go do
right.
it, right? And just keeping that promise to myself is kind of what I think that was my moment of realizing that at some point you have to prioritize yourself the same way you prioritize others.
Yeah. Self-care is important. And a
Yeah.
lot of times people feel guilty. A lot of people feel guilty when they realize it, especially like moms, young moms, they're like, I can't because I have the children, or I can't because of this or whatever. I have so many obligations, but self-care, if you don't take care of yourself,
Good to
on.
anybody.
If you can't take care of nobody,
Yeah.
you can't be there for my cute little Bella. You got to be able to take care of yourself. You have to prioritize that. That's so important. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's so, so important. Let me know at whatever point you'd like me to share some of the photos with our audience so that they can kind of see
Let's
the
give them a peek
journey.
at the before and after,
Let's
right?
do a
So
little
that
peek.
right
Let's
now
do a
they're just
little peek. Let's do a
imagining what I
little
used to
peek.
look like.
Yeah, because it's such a beautiful journey. I've been following Cicero on Facebook. And when I saw his last set of pictures, I'm like, okay, wait a minute, Marlene, wait a minute, put the brakes on. You've got to share his journey with your audience. And so look at that. I tell them a little bit about this photo because when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, that's the same person.
Yeah, and I created the photo so you could see the
Love
before
it.
me and then the after me together. And again, this is me kind of keeping that promise to myself. And interestingly enough, that picture on the left side with the backpack on, that's me in Denver. That day when I made
Oh,
that promise to myself, right? That was me walking around in those mountains, making that decision. And that picture was taking on that day, that's the perfect before picture.
right.
That's when I got to the point to where I can't keep going this way. So that's as far as I went, right? So that's why it's a great before picture. And then obviously on the right hand side, you can see I've lost 230 pounds through keeping that promise to myself. That person on the left has kept so many promises, and that person on the right is now so proud of him for all of that work that he's done, right? A lot of people look back at their old self and maybe they can't stand to see themselves, but I love that person on the left because he got me to where I am with
Yes.
a lot of commitment, a lot of hard work and keeping those promises. Also, another interesting thing that you might find in this photo is I'm wearing the same shoes. My shoe size did not change
That's
with all of the weight
interesting.
that I lost.
Wow. I'm surprised it didn't change even as you gained weight,
Yeah.
because sometimes people gain weight and they go up a half size or something.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I did start to get to the point to where my I was starting to have issues with foot swelling and things like that, and
Yeah.
headaches and a little chest pain and stuff like that. I didn't have any critical, medical issues yet. It was just a matter of time at that
That's
size. I think the only thing I had working on my side was obviously youth and age. But give it a 5, 6 more years, I probably would have had diabetes and all kinds of other things if I continued on that path. But luckily, obviously, and that's another thing too. While we're on that point, right? Like, I feel like everything happens at the right time, right? Obviously I felt a nudge. You believe that if that comes from God, and I feel like God, right, allowed me to come to this point because obviously He has plans for me.
That's right.
And He needs me to be ready for those plans, which is why again He nudged me and got me ready for whatever He has planned for me to do. He's preparing me for, and so I believe in that as well.
So then I have another question to ask you. Are you in the same place in Denver taking the second photo?
I am not.
Okay, all right, that's cool.
I do need to make a trip to that point, but this picture was taken closer to home after a walk, and then I
Cool.
kind of put them together so you could have this good
I
visual
just
of
love that.
getting
That
to know. 'Em.
that commitment, like I'm committed. I'm doing this.
Yeah,
Did you
and
even
even
think that when you put your hand up like that you would do that 2 years later? No.
and 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 even the guy on the right, I even though I've come so far, I'm not going to stop. I'm still going to continue on this health journey as much as I can because I feel like the person on the left did so much work to get me here that I want to make that person proud that I never
Yes.
quit as well,
Yes.
right? And I want to keep making that person proud as well.
I love it. I love the photos. And tell us a little bit about this one. Then we're gonna give them some more photos later on. We'll keep the
Yeah,
rest for
so
later.
the one on the left was at my daughter's baby shower. You guys might meet her a little bit later, hopefully, if she makes it home. But yeah, it's with a good friend I worked with. And again, I thought it was a good picture because here you have this the person on the left. It's the same in both pictures, and a lot of people see this picture and be like, "That's not the same two people in both pictures." His name is Dominic. That's Dominic standing with two different people. No, that's Dominic standing with the same person about 3 years apart. So. Yeah.
It's a listen. You lost the whole person. Like
I
uh,
lost an overweight person.
overweight. Two persons. Two persons.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful journey. We're gonna just show one more, and then we're gonna leave the rest for later. I love this video. They may not be able to hear the audio, but you can tell them a bit
Yeah, so
about
my
what
favorite
you
thing is
love.
golf. My favorite thing to do active wise is golf. And even when I was that size, I still did it. And as you can see, it's much easier at a lighter weight. But again, I like to start watching the two because like a lot of people, they actually see my photos and don't think it's the same person. But here's me with that same golf swing, good or bad. You could see it's the same person because it's swinging the same way, almost in the same spot. And again, the same shoes.
Same
Uh,
shoes.
one thing I like, I haven't all I've had to get a lot of new clothes, but luckily I've not had to buy a lot of new shoes.
Amen. That's hey, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. What did you do with your wardrobe, by the way? What have you been doing with the whole clothes?
Oh, this has been a struggle for me. So obviously I donated to those that in need, and I actually felt very emotional about it the first time. Not necessarily because I'm gonna miss my clothes. I felt emotional about it because I remember at that size how hard it was to find clothes that can fit. And oftentimes you don't even buy clothes that you want. You buy clothes that you could find, right? And so it made me very emotional to be able to donate those clothes that somebody who is that size and going through that and not having anything to wear, literally because they can't find it, actually are now going to have clothes to be able to wear. And so that's why I got a little bit emotional about because it used to be really, really hard for me to find clothes to wear.
Really?
And
Wow.
obviously I'm blessed enough to where I work a good job or whatever, I could at least afford to buy those clothes when I could find them. But obviously being able to give them to somebody a little bit less fortunate who might not be able to afford, clothes, and they
Because
could
it's more
they could
expensive, isn't it? It's more
oh,
expensive.
it is so expensive because obviously, because it's let more they don't make those sizes, so because it's more rare, it's always going to be more expensive. So,
Exactly.
but the struggle for me then came in then you get into these phases where like, okay, I'm a new size. I can't wear that shirt without looking ridiculous. So I buy new clothes and then you go on Amazon or whatever and you buy stuff on sale and you buy a bunch of it.
Mhm.
And then you don't have nowhere to go. And then and then the clothes sit there and then by the time you put them on, they're too big. And now I have to give away these clothes with tags on them. Uh,
Wow.
so I was losing in the
Wow.
beginning, I was losing weight quite fast once I started
Wow.
dedicating myself to it.
Yeah.
And so I was like losing like 5 pounds in a week. So I was going down fast. So I would even often not just have to give away one set of clothes, but I'd have to give away another set of clothes before I even got to wear a lot of them.
Wow.
And
Wow.
it's been a expensive, but a good problem to have.
It was a good problem, worth it. It was
I'll
worth
take that
it.
problem any day.
Amen.
And at this
Amen.
size that I am now,
Yeah.
it's a completely different life, right? Like I can find clothes a lot easier, things that I actually think that I look good in or that suit me. And then because it's at this size, is a much more abundance of it.
Yeah.
I at the size that it was before, there's no chance I'm getting a $12 shirt. There's no way. Everything was like $50 and up or $60, $70 and up to get a shirt. Right. But now you go on Amazon, oh, this polo for $12. I'll take that. I'll get it. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. May I ask you, did you at any point actually like believe you could lose that amount of weight that you have lost? Like,
That's a good question.
did you ever
I,
see yourself
I set the
230
goal.
pounds?
I
Yeah.
set the goal. I knew I could do it if I set my mind to it, but did I imagine myself at that size? I don't know, right? And I'll be honest, right? And people say, "Oh, people doubt you, whatever." Like, I don't know anybody that has lost. Personally, I've never met anybody that's lost as much weight as I did. I know they exist now because I've done it and I've seen others that have done it. But I've never met somebody that lost over 200 pounds. And so it was hard for myself to believe that I could do it. But what I did is I took it one day at a time. I just said, I'm gonna keep exercising and believe it or not, and if you're starting your journey today, one of the hardest things to do is you go take that walk or you go to the gym or you start that diet. And miraculously, after one day, you're not going to be skinny. I'm here to tell you that. That's not going to
No.
happen. We all expect
No.
it. Oh man, I just
Wish.
worked out for three
Don't we
hours.
all wish it would happen like that?
And
We
then you
would
go
all.
straight to the mirror. I'm not skinny yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. So oftentimes you're in this journey and doing these things that you know are good for you, but you do them with not seeing any results or any noticeable results for a very long time. And you just have to keep your head down and understand that it's a process, trust the process, and time after time, time after time, time after time, keep doing it. I think there's a really good principle I've actually heard one time, and I found it to be true. Once you start this journey, this health journey, however you're doing it, usually after about 4 weeks of doing it consistently, you'll start to notice a little bit of a difference.
Right.
After about 8 weeks of doing it consistently, your friends and family will start to notice a difference.
Right.
And then
That's
after about 12 weeks of doing it consistently, everybody will start to see a difference. So I think once I started to see the progress, Marlene, honestly, that's when I started to believe I could actually do it. But in the
wow.
beginning and before starting, it was hard to picture the end result because I'd never seen it before.
Wow. What would you say helped to keep you mentally focused, to keep you so grounded in, because I mean, willpower is one thing, but what would you say really got you through those tough times?
A good question. There's a couple of things. I would say definitely the anchor there was the thing I mentioned earlier, that promise to myself, right? Like I didn't want to say, okay, just because this is hard, you made this promise to yourself. I mean, just because if you promised you was gonna do something, you was gonna help somebody move, help
Yeah.
them move, and you get there and it was harder than you expected, you're just gonna say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. No, I made a promise to myself, and hard or not, how I feel or not, I'm going to keep that promise. But there was some other motivations along the way. And one of the things that did motivate me, and today is actually a very poignant day, which you may not know. One of the things that helped motivate me on this journey was before I started, one of the things that I wanted to do was set a good example for my mom, who was struggling from diabetes. And I wanted her to see, like,
Oh,
okay, this is a good and healthy lifestyle. Obviously she's since passed away. Today is her birthday, which was a is a
oh,
very emotional day for me. But that was
oh,
one of the things that especially in the beginning, that kept me going. I wanted to set a good example for her to show, hey, and that's why I stopped eating the sugar, right? Because I wanted to set a good example and like let her follow me. Like, let's do this together, mom, right? And help motivate her to a better lifestyle as well. And then obviously I would say the final thing is obviously I have my child, right? My daughter, who I love so much, everybody loves so much. But the reason why she motivates me so much is two reasons. One, I want to be here for her, and I want to always, there's nobody in this world that will protect her as much as I will. And I want to be around as long as possible to do that. And the next reason is what I've noticed by being a parent is your children are going to do what they see you do. And I
yes.
think that's also a beautiful message too for like for the health message as well. A lot of the bad habits that we have health-wise, even eating, especially eating, like I probably like these bad foods because that's what my parents like and that's what my grandparents like. And a lot of those get passed down to you. You don't only have bad genes passed down to you sometimes, you have bad habits passed down to
Habits.
you. So I want my daughter to see good habits. I want her to see me going out for that walk every single day. I want her to see that I like healthy food. And sure enough, she's 4 years old and she likes to be active. She likes to exercise. She likes her broccoli because daddy likes broccoli and I want to be
Yes,
like daddy.
yes.
Right. So, and that's been another motivation for me too when it's gotten very hard. So
I want to show your mom. Is that okay? I
that's fine.
saw I saw where you had shared it on Facebook. Seeing as we're talking about, it, I don't want it to be so far removed. I saw where you highlighted it on Facebook, but I was rushing to get in here and I didn't get a chance to put it in the PowerPoint. But I decided I would just do that while you were talking. And I remember your mom
Yeah.
very well. I remember. I didn't know today was her birthday. Wow. Oh, beautiful, beautiful lady. She was such a nice lady.
Yeah.
She would come to school, Bahamas Grammy, and everybody would say, everybody, I think she was everybody's mama.
Yeah.
Am I not right? Am I right? She would bring treats for everybody. She would always bring stuff for everyone. She never just brought for her boys and didn't think of the children in their class. So I know your mom would be so proud of you today. I know that she would be
Thank you.
so proud of you. And so we look forward to meeting her again because we know that
Yes.
once we live, we will meet her again. But I had to share that. Um, just trying to get back on track now. So you're losing this weight. Were there any moments of discouragement or setbacks along the way?
I guess also another great lesson if you're starting your journey to realize that there's going to be moments where it feels like you're running in place for a long period of time. Like I mentioned in the beginning,
Yeah,
I was losing weight quite fast, like 5 pounds a week, and then that's because at that size, at 500
right.
pounds, and you increase your activity and you decrease how much you're eating, the weight's gonna fall off because it's so heavy to carry your own self around. So you're burning so much calories just to even exist, right? But as you start to get smaller and smaller and smaller, you don't use as much energy to just even exist. So actually between, I think it was May of 2024, probably all the way until like January of 2025, I did not lose 1 pound. And
Oh,
I was active every day. I was up. And mind you,
what?
I started with a half a mile a day when I started my journey. And by this point, I was up to like 5 miles a day walking. I was eating far less, and I'm not losing any weight. And I'm
That's
working on the gym. I'm
discouraging.
doing
I
all
would
these
be so
things.
mad.
Yeah, it's that is and again, the advice I would give to people who have this big goal to accomplish, and if weight loss is your goal, the scale is beautiful, right? Like, especially when it's going down, but it can't be your only barometer for success. Because what I did notice during that time from May 2024 to January 1st is that although I didn't lose a pound, I went down 2 sizes. And I was
Amen.
looking better. I was looking more fit.
Yeah.
I was stronger. I was able to run more, right? And do lots of other things. So it was a lot of change in my actual body even though the scale didn't move an ounce. And
Yeah.
again, I let the scale mess with my mind a lot, right? Because it's like I've been doing all of these things 2, 3, 4 months and no progress. Maybe it's done, right? But again, stay in the course, the consistency, whether you see a result or not, just being able to stay consistent.
I have a moment of confession. I hate the scale. I hate the scale. I can't deal with it. It's too much for me. My sister, on the other hand, she goes on every day, morning and evening. And I'm like, how do you do that? It messes with my mind.
Yeah,
I'm a person. I like to see if I can just see those dress sizes dropping, I'm like,
same.
I'm good. I'm good. But that scale, woo, if
It's
you
because
not, listen,
it's a lot of factors that come into play.
yes,
Again, I've done some research on this, right? So like, the example that you see a lot of people use is like maybe you have this thing and this thing. If this thing is the fat and this thing is the muscle, and
yeah.
they weigh the same thing, obviously this thing's taking up way more space. And so
Mhm.
yes, maybe if this is heavier and you look smaller, you weigh the same thing, but this is still far better in your body than the fat. Take the fat
Yes,
out and put the muscle in, and the muscle has so much more benefits to be there.
so much more.
So
So
the
I
scale
love
does
that.
not tell that story,
Yes.
unfortunately. And so if you're doing the right things and you know you're doing the right things, keep doing them because you are making a good impact on your body whether the scale says so or not.
Did you learn anything about yourself during this process? Like, what would you say that surprised you? You know, you're like,
What I would say, and this has probably been the biggest accomplishment in my life, I would say. And what this thing has taught me is that I can literally do anything I set my mind to. Like
mm.
now, if like somebody says, "Oh, um, do you think that you can go be a pilot now?" Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
I lost 230 pounds. If I could do that, then I could do whatever, right?
I
Which
love
the process taught me. Like you literally can do anything you set your mind to. And
Amen.
so that's what I've learned about myself along this journey and why it's been life-changing because now I'm not like doubtful of myself in anything that I do. It's given me a tremendous amount of confidence, not because of how I look at all. It's given me a tremendous amount of of confidence because I now go about life knowing, not thinking, knowing I can literally do anything I set my mind to. So yeah,
I love that. I love that because there's so many people who are watching who, you know, sometimes we fail. We start and we stop, we start and we stop it. Once you would have accomplished this mammoth of a goal that you have accomplished, the 230 plus pounds that you would have lost, I too would be like, I could do anything.
yeah.
I could do it. I could do it. I love that. That's
Well,
great
I do
motivation.
want to talk a little bit about like the that failing because that was a big part of my journey too. This journey that I'm on, where I just lost 230 pounds, was not my first weight loss journey. And in fact, during COVID, like I told you before, I was active during COVID. We all went home and I was doing walking. I lost 100 pounds during COVID. So I was big then too. So I went from like 500 to 400, which is the big accomplishment. But then I gained it all back when they called me back to work because I couldn't go out to walk every day. And
Wow,
you know why? Because my diet didn't change.
that's right.
Um, and the reason I say that, and I've had a lot of other failures. I have other times when I lost 50 pounds, gained it back, 60 pounds, gained it back. I feel like every one of those failures, every single time, I used in this one, right? Because this time I found a time to work out for myself. Like I made that promise to myself, like I'm gonna go walk every day. But I knew from those previous times, TJ, you got to change diet. You can't just go walking every day. You can't keep eating the same things that you were eating because then you're just gonna have the wicked reversal and it's gonna come back. So every failure that I had along my weight loss journey, which was not 2.5 years, my weight loss journey has been 20 years.
I know, right? Yeah.
And every lesson that I learned on 18 years of failing helped me to accomplish the goal that I accomplished now. So if you did have had fails in the past, don't take that as you are incapable of achieving that goal. Take that as I learned something there, and I'm going to apply that to the my next time when I do succeed, and that's going to help me propel me to success.
Yeah. Was there any quote or scripture or something that kept you grounded, you know, that you would always like use it? Like my scripture is I can do all things. I can do this. I keep repeating that. Is there anything like that for you? Any text or you
I'm
can
a
think
big
of that?
Jeremiah 29:11 guy. I know it's a lot of a lot of people's favorite because I
Okay.
do know that God has plans for me and he only has plans for like great things for me. And that's why I believe that I'm on this journey in the first place because whatever he has prepared for me, I'm going to be ready for because again, he's guiding me into where I'm going. This is not all myself thing. So that's been a grounding factor for me. And then, just basically, I don't have any like one quote that I could think of in my head when things get hard, but obviously just that knowing that there's a design of something for me in the future that I'm preparing for that also keeps me focused to keep going and don't stop now, right? Yeah.
Well, I know that you walk and I know that you run. What's a daily routine like for you, morning to night? Like, what does a day look like for you?
That's a good question. I think that's a part of my success, actually. One is keeping a routine. I think a routine helps you. Like if you do the same thing every day, it's harder to like not do it. And in the beginning, it was really hard to walk a lot because it wasn't a part of my routine, but now I almost can't not walk. And the reason for that is when I wake up in the morning, my first action is to put on my socks. Once I put on my socks, now I already have clothes on. I got to finish getting dressed, right? Like the socks are already on. And the second I put on the clothes, then I walk out the door. And the reason I think that works for me is because if you lay there in that bed, you pick up that phone, and you start scrolling. One, you're gonna lose the time. That hour that you sit in that bed scrolling, you could have done been walking, and that could have been like you exercising that you was laying in the bed instead. And then two, I feel like your brain naturally tries to talk you out of hard things. And if you give your brain enough time, it's going to convince you, not today. But if you go quick, if you just go quick, 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 then your brain doesn't have time to talk you out of that hard thing, right? And so for me, my daily routine is eyes open, socks on. And
I never
as
heard that
soon as
before.
as soon as the socks
Nice.
go on, I that's my trigger that I need to get clothes on, stressed, and out the door, right? I do brush my teeth, by the way. That's a part of part of the morning routine. But once I get the socks on, that triggers me to go outside. And once I'm outside, and making it first was very important for me too, because we all live busy lives. And if you don't put it first, something else is gonna come and take its place, right? Like if I start working first, then I'm gonna get wrapped up. I'm a recovering workaholic, like I said. If I'm gonna get wrapped up in something at work, and I'm gonna deprioritize that walk until I run out of time in today, and now I can't go walking anymore. But if I do it first, then nothing else gets in the way. It's in the beginning. Nothing can break that cycle of that happening. Once I do intermittent fasting as well. So another thing that walk in the morning helps me with, I can't go eat food from the fridge if I'm outside walking.
Okay,
Um,
then.
yeah, so it stops me from the opportunity to eat, right? Or eat bad things while I'm out there walking. And then once I do get home, though, I then start thinking about like something healthy to eat or something healthy to have, which oftentimes for me, I try to start light with something liquid. Like we do like a green juice where my wife helps me a lot, and she's been instrumental on this journey for me too, because she's helped me with so many things. But one of the things she does daily, I think is a green apple, celery, and some other wonderful things that she puts in there, and that's the first thing I put in my mouth every day. And then if I can, I just try to keep liquids as much as possible, and then I start eating solid food after a while.
Okay, that's beautiful. So you're doing intermittent fasting, which means that you have a window. How late are you going in the evenings with the eating or afternoons? How late?
Yeah, so with the again, this has been a process for me, and I've
That's
been trying to
okay.
get better at it. But to this point, I've trained myself to be able to not eat any food before noon, and I will not eat any food after 8 p.m. And so the way that helps me. I've noticed a lot of health benefits from it. I notice I focus much better. I notice that I have more energy when I'm intermittent fasting consistently, and just a lot of other benefits. But I think the most practical benefit, even if you don't want to go into all of those, the fact that I can only put food in my mouth during an 8 hour window means that I can only get so much food in there, which limits how much I can gain weight, right? Because I'm gonna eat in that window and I'm gonna get full. I can't just keep constantly eating. So it creates limits around the literal amount of food that I can eat. And that has been also a big benefit for me on just having a window and when you control yourself on eating.
Were you doing intermittent fasting throughout your entire journey, or this is something that you incorporated after you
That is also a
started?
very interesting question, because I think another key to my success is that I added things slowly. So like I told you, I started on day one with that walk and the no sugar. I got really, really used to that first. So about 6 to 8 weeks, that was all I was doing. But I was seeing progress from just that. But once I got comfortable with that and that became a part of my routine that I can do it without thinking, then I added something else. The
What?
second thing I did add was the intermittent fasting, right? And then again, like I told you, I'm still a work in progress on that. Like that started with like a 16-hour window. Like I went from eight to like 10 at first. But then once I got better and better and better at that, and like my instinct is now not to eat a whole bunch of food in the morning or eat a whole bunch of food at night, and I got disciplined at that thing, then I picked up the gym, right? And I could do it like a 2 or 3 minute thing on the gym. I don't think you should ever start the gym on day one of your journey for lots of reasons. But once I started the gym, It's really hard, but I wasn't trying to learn intermittent fasting at the same time. I wasn't
Yes,
trying to cut out sugar at the same time. I
right,
wasn't struggling with trying to go out with that walk every single day. Those were things that were just naturally already a part of my life. And then I added this other thing. And now what I've done, and I think what has helped me to lose so much weight, is that I have five, six, seven things working in my favor at the same time, almost like multiple streams of income, like
right.
intermittent fasting, gym, walking, no
I like
sugar,
that.
right? And jogging now and doing this challenge and that challenge and it doesn't feel hard because I'm only picking up one thing at a time. Once I've mastered one thing and it's become a part of the routine, then I pick it up later. And I think that's been a big part of my journey and not overwhelming myself with a whole bunch of stuff at once, but doing one thing, getting good at it, and then adding another.
You started out doing how much when you initially started? You said you just wanted to walk for like how many minutes, and then
Half a
how
mile. It's
half a
because it was
mile.
all I was capable of.
I know
Yeah.
that's okay, but now how many are you doing now?
So now daily, when I walk out in the morning, it's 7 miles every day before I do anything else. Remember, socks go on and I go out.
Seven
So
miles, go
the
boy! Oh,
my first steps in the morning is a 7 mile walk from my bed to that 7 miles back to my house. And
that's
honestly, I think I could do more at this point, but I've now gotten to the point to where like I don't have enough time to do more, right? Because the
yes,
7 miles takes me
takes
a little
time.
bit about 2 hours. And I usually leave out at 7 in the morning. By 9 o'clock, I need to start getting my day started. So if I want to start accomplishing more than that, I'm gonna have to start getting up a little bit earlier. But
Hmm.
yeah, 7 miles a day from only being able to do a half a mile is I
Are
don't know.
you doing the 20,000 steps a day challenge? I mean, how many steps would you say you
So
get?
that's a part of where I am now. It's just that's
Right.
evolved. Part of my goals that I set for myself is I wanted to have a minimum challenge. So before I started this whole journey, and I have everything tracked on my phone, I was doing about 3,000 steps a day. That's when I was no activity, and then obviously as I was doing the half a mile a day, that got up and up and up and up, and then I started setting the first goal I set for myself. I wanted to do like 10,000 steps a day, and then it's just been progressing. So right now in my current state, I do 20,000 steps a day and I'm not trying to do it. When I do a
No, but
seven
you
mile
are
walk a
because
day
just
and I
seven
hit the
miles
gym,
alone is like 2,000. I know.
yeah,
Yeah,
so I'm just hitting it and me going to look to see how many steps I did today and how many days in a row I did. It's just me verifying, oh yeah, you did your walks every day and you went to the gym every day. It's 23,000 steps. So yeah. I
that's
don't shoot
beautiful.
and try to find a way to do it. The things that I do naturally should produce that for me.
Has there been anyone in your neighborhood that started walking as a result of your journey? Has there been
Oh,
any?
it's been so
Yeah,
many people start, not just my
yeah.
neighborhood, so many because I share online, and that's one of the things I started sharing not in the beginning, but after a while. And I think one of the reasons I did start sharing is it was shortly after my mom had passed and I would needed some form of distraction. And at that point, I had already lost like maybe it's like 70, 80 pounds. And I did feel a little proud of myself. But I'm a sharer. And the reason why I share is because I want others to know it's possible, right? Because remember that size and I didn't think that you could lose that much weight, right? Because I'd never seen it. And so me sharing that story, I think helped a lot of other people start. But there's definitely people in my neighborhood that started because I started. What I get a lot of is like, are you the guy that used to push around the baby? Are you that same guy? Like, and I'm like, yeah,
You use
you lost a
because you
lot
would
of
take
weight.
Bella with you, you take your daughter with
I
you.
would take on my walks when I started in the beginning. And again, it was
Love
just a half a mile, so she could handle it. Now it's 7 miles, a bit much to bring her on, but yeah, yeah,
that's beautiful. I love that.
yeah.
Beautiful journey. Who would you say is your number one cheerleader then? I think I heard it, but we can let it be audibly. So hopefully somebody else is listening and they didn't hear it. Who-
Obviously, Arabella is my number one cheerleader. But I do want to give props to my wife. She's been there for me tremendously, and she's actually made all of this possible in a lot of ways. And I just can't underestimate the impact that she's had on it. Obviously, she wants to see me healthy and wants to see me do well, but it's one thing to want it and one thing to actually come on this journey and participate with me. Obviously, in the beginning too, she was there doing walks with me, going to the gym with me. But what she's done more than anything else is sacrifice herself to make sure make sure I have enough capacity on my plate to go and do these things, right? Um, going out for that 2 hour walk every morning doesn't go without, sacrificing your time. She might, I got this. And then I'm not only talking about housework, I'm talking about just the mental capacity to have to deal with, we got to get this thing done this week, but don't worry about it, TJ, I'll handle that, right? You could go for your walk. Or, I still haven't been to the gym yet and it's getting late. I got dinner, right? Like those kinds of things, like it's unquantifiable. And again, I've done a lot of research on this too. And one of the things I notice is when there tends to be a lot of weight loss in one partner, you actually start to get a lot of divorce because one person either feels neglected, right? Either the person losing the weight feels neglected because they're not being supported, or the one who's not losing the weight feels neglected because the person's focusing only on something that they want. But
Mm.
it hasn't been that in my relationship with my wife. It's been a joint journey in this together, and to the point to where she's sacrificed a lot in order to make it possible for me to be able to accomplish this big thing and taking on a lot on herself. And again, we all know how men can be, right? We can be laser focused on certain things, and that laser focus sometimes comes with maybe not being emotionally available there, and she's been completely understanding in those moments as well. And again, I've had have the empathy and realized that I need to make sure that I'm focused on this thing but also give her what she needs as a wife too. But she's been understanding in the moments where I have been super laser focused on my goals as well.
That's right. That's right. Would you say that your role, what role did the accountability, the community, sorry, or accountability play in your success? Would you say sharing online and, you know, would you think it had a role to play in
Yeah,
your success? Yeah.
I think it helps me too. Obviously,
Yeah.
my primary goal is to share it to help others, but by helping others, I'm helping myself too
That's
because
right. That's
this
right.
is and there's two ways that it happens because when I share that video online of me either working out or the before and after, and then I go and see that, I actually hype myself up to say I want to go to the gym and do that again tomorrow. But
Yes.
the
Yeah.
bigger thing is that like, okay, I've now put this out there that I'm on this journey doing this thing. And a lot of people have been inspired by it, drastically inspired by it. And I get so many beautiful comments from so many people around the world, people who I've never even met.
I know. I can
Like,
imagine.
and
Wow.
they've been inspired by me and told me about their journey. And even just today, there's people messaging me. It's like, yeah, I saw what you're doing, and I'm now down from 380 to 280. Thank you for the
Man.
encouragement and all these things. And
Amen.
those stories just give me chills. And when I think of that, I'm like, well, I can't stop now. They're watching me,
I
right?
know.
I can't. They're depending on me. I gotta keep going now, right? I can't not go for this walk today because they've now seen me do it, and I'm now there like they're model for what good habits are, and I need to set a good example here and keep doing it. So,
Because I
it's
will
been
be
great.
honest with you, I go on Facebook sometimes just to see what you posted. No joke. I do. So today I was on there for a short. I don't go on Facebook all day. People would think I am, but I don't. I don't have time for that. But when I went on, I said I looked in the stories. I'm looking for you. It's like, and that's how I knew that your mom. There was something about your mom today because I saw the photos. I didn't read the caption because I was kind of distracted. I was like, oh, he's sharing his mom today. That's so special. And I was like, good. But I'm always looking to see what did he share. And let me tell you something else. Remember, I think I took you. I said, can you make this shareable? Because just
Yeah.
stuff I can't share. And I'm like, I want to share it. I had
Oh,
actually asked Pastor Manasseh. I said, Manasseh, send me this video of Cicero because I got to share it. But when he sent it to me, I was still not sure. I said, oh, what's wrong with this? I can't share this video. So I got a
so
little frustrated, and then I realized, wait a second. Just ask him yourself. Ask him to just make it shareable. So I'm happy that you did that because I'm telling you, I have three chats, and I have WhatsApp support chats. It's a support groups where because I have a weight loss program. So in my programs, I share your journey, and I'm sharing anything you share. Like I'm like, I gotta share that. I gotta share that. And they're like, wow, what a beautiful journey. Oh man. And they're just cheering you on in these chats. So I'm just excited. I'm excited. you know.
Yeah, it makes me happy to inspire others, certainly, and I appreciate it. And again, just as a little bit of a confession, you have a little bit of an inside look. The way I look at my social media, my Facebook, my Instagram, that's for people, my private, like family and friends and people I actually know. I share on TikTok also, and that's far more public and open and for everybody and for the
But
world
you
to
could,
see.
yeah,
So if
you
you
just
are
send
looking
me
for
all those links so I can put them in the chat below so people can find you.
Yes, if you're looking for me, look for TJ 200 down. I didn't know I'd be 230 down, so I made it at that point when I was 200 down. And you'll be able to find me on TikTok, and I have quite the audience over there. I think I have about 110,000 followers over there.
Wow, on TikTok?
Whereas my yeah, whereas on
Oh,
my
wow.
Facebook I
Okay,
have
you gotta
300
type that out
followers.
for me. Whoa.
Yeah.
How much on Facebook?
300. Again, it's a much
Oh, your Tik. Okay.
quieter party over in Facebook. But I do share with my friends and family because again, it's inspiring to all of them as well.
Wow, that's beautiful. That is
Yeah.
so beautiful. So, before we go into what would you say to the audience, what does freedom mean to you now, physically, emotionally, spiritually? What does this is a new life for you now. I mean, you're almost down to where you would, I don't know what's your goal, your end goal, like,
So I want to be able to say I lost 300 pounds. That was my goal in the beginning, so I want to do it. That goal is maybe seeing less um thought out now because I have a lot of loose skin and like you can't really burn off loose skin. So we'll see if we get to that goal. But yeah,
have you
I'm
thought
still
of doing
continuing to try.
surgery?
I thought about it. The only reason I would get the surgery is if it becomes in the way, right? Because I've heard stories of like sometimes if it becomes too excessive, it gets in the way of like working out and other things. But if it doesn't get to that point, it's all under my clothes anyway, so people can't even see it. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's all cosmetic. But if it's no health or physical deterrence, then I'll just accept it, and it probably weighs like 20 or 30 pounds. Who knows?
No.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
so
I've
it's
seen that.
yeah,
I've watched videos of people when they cut off that loose skin from this tummy and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Overnight they went from whatever to 50 pounds less or 20 pounds less just because of the amount of weight of the excess skin. I'm scary of those kind of things. I'll probably just keep
yeah. No, I would never do like a surgery unless it like I had to, like right, you know. So that's another reason I wouldn't venture to it unless it was absolutely from it changed my value of life to not do it, right? So, but again, freedom, freedom means a lot to me. And you know, just beyond the point that I made earlier that I just now know, not think, I know I can do anything I set my mind to, and that the power that comes with that, and you know, that just changes your life. But just the freedom to be able to do things that you couldn't do before. I mentioned this to you before we actually turned on, like you know, I remember being at that size and you get to a restaurant and like, no, we can't do the booth. I just can't sit in the booth, right? Or you know, I can't sit in chairs that have arms on them. It's just like I can't participate. Or you go to places and you just can't participate in certain things because of the size that you are. And so that freedom to me means that like I can now participate in anything that I want, right? Like I can do all of the things that everybody else can do. I can feel a lot more included. And there's a lot of, and I know there's probably somebody watching this that understands that, and there's a lot of psychological damage that comes with that of not being able to be included in many things just because of your size. Um, but but you know, once you lose a little bit of that weight and it comes back, those things actually bring you more happiness because you remember the days like going to a restaurant and being able to sit in a booth now, that doesn't mean anything to my wife or anybody else I go with. But me sitting in that booth, I just smile every time. And nobody knows why I'm smiling, but it makes me so happy to be able to do simple things that I physically was restricted from being able to do before, right? And so I would say that's what the freedom brings me. The freedom brings me such enhanced happiness that I otherwise wouldn't have had if I didn't know about those restrictions from before.
Wow. Even flying a plane, getting
Yeah.
on an
Ooh.
airplane.
I
Yeah.
used to have to buy two seats, Marlene. Like it wasn't like I had to squeeze in. I had to buy two seats. And that was one of the moments. And you talk about these moments where like things change. It's like, whoa, I could fit in one seat and actually not use the seatbelt extension. Also, that was another step. So Those are all
That's a
great
good feeling,
milestones.
isn't it? It's like,
Yeah, it's
oh,
such a beautiful milestone. Like, ooh.
ah.
Um,
That's
yeah,
beautiful. That's almost brought me to tears. That's no, honestly, that's a good one. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. What would you say to someone who's listening who feels like change is too hard? It's too late for me. What would you say to that person that's listening? Look right into that camera and just talk to that person.
I can tell you personally, it's never too late for change. I genuinely believe that everything happens at the exact right time. Um, if you're looking at somebody that's lost 230 pounds, 230 pounds, literally just from doing small, tiny things every single day. Uh, Anything you set your mind to, you could do. And that doesn't just go for weight loss, right? You may be, whether you're the person who's struggling with weight loss or you're just trying to be a better parent today, or you're just trying to, you're thinking about that new business you want to start and it seems like it's impossible right now. Understand, you can literally do anything you set your mind to. Um, Take me as an example. Just put your mind to it, be consistent every single day. You don't have to be perfect. That's another thing I've learned along this journey, right? Like I'm like, well, I gotta go do the 6 miles every. No, as long as you do something every day, you're moving forward. One plus two plus three plus four is still a bigger number than one plus zero plus zero plus zero.
Yeah,
Consistency matters. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent, right? So just set your mind to make sure that you're gonna do it every single day, and you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be better.
yeah.
There is no
Awesome.
such thing as perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. And if you keep chasing it, then yes, you will keep failing. But if you set your mind to being better every single day, I
Mm,
bet you could do it every
wow.
single day.
I
So
love that. I love that. That's so beautiful. And I pray that those who are listening today, that they won't become totally discouraged and, you know, because especially with the start and go, a lot of us we start and then we stop, we start and we stop, and so that can be really discouraging and disheartening. And then I won't talk about when the holidays come around, you
it's
know,
hard.
it is difficult. It's not an easy thing. And what would you say to them about that? How do you manage the stresses of holidays? How do you deal with that?
The holidays are hard. I think the two things that helped me the most there, right? Again, I keep coming back to my anchor. My anchor was that promise that I made to myself. Yes, I want to go eat that bad food, but I go back to like I made that promise to. I even put myself in the third party. Like you promised TJ you wouldn't eat that thing.
Yeah.
And if you break that promise to him, he's not going to trust you anymore. So just don't do it, right? You made that promise. And the next thing is obviously having support system around you.
Yep.
Oftentimes, and this it's gonna happen, sorry. It's the person will be like, it's Christmas. You could eat it today, right? Like it's just cake, right? And just like
Hmm.
you have to be able to have like discipline to be able to say, I'm gonna say no no matter what, and just expect it, right?
Yeah.
The worst thing you could do. We are so bad. I think this might even be a cultural thing. Like we often think that, like, oh, I did a good job. I'm gonna reward myself with this thing, right? Like, would you say that I have a destination to get to in my car, and
Hmm.
every day I go 10 miles in this car,
Uh-huh.
but now as a reward, I want to go 20 miles backwards. No, no. And in fact, what you should do as a reward is go another 10 miles forward so you don't have as far to go tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right?
Amen.
So don't allow yourself to go backwards. If anything else, don't reward yourself with backwards. I would say that's a good thing, especially around the holidays. Try to stay consistent as possible, especially around the holidays. It's almost like working overtime at your job. You're getting time and a half. If you don't go backwards and you just don't do anything, then you're probably further along than you would have otherwise been. So
Yeah.
just try to stay focused.
We're gonna take a break. When we come back, We'll hear the rest of his story.
Hey, it's Marlene, the Bahamian vegan, and I wanted to stop to invite you to join us on the Wellness Fitness Challenge to 2026. We're heading into 2026 with a blast. We're going to be more fit, we're going to feel more energized, and we're going to be more trim. It's 2026, just ahead, just around the corner. It's 3 months until Christmas. Why not join the challenge? It's myself.
And this is Lady D, and we are in the kitchen, y'all.
And Coach Percy in the weight room. Come on, join us. We've got daily exercise, cooking demos, and daily motivation. And of course, you do have a WhatsApp group support where you can chime in and share and talk. And guess what else? Get the motivation that you need to get where you've got to go. It's 3 months until Christmas. Join us.
So, we have a challenge. I have a challenge that goes on. It's ongoing. I actually also have a raw. I don't know. You must join us on one of our raw challenges. It's all raw. I've gone all raw in the past 2 months. I was having some information and I feel so much better. So we have a raw challenge every month at the start of the month. And then, of course, they could just all the information's in the chat. Let's finish up to zero. So I just had to put that in there so persons who may be watching may want to, be a part of the support. In addition to that, if you have a story to share, you have a journey that you have been on and you would like to share it on our channel, we'd be happy to have you here with us. We're excited about that. All right, let's get back to Cyril. I have just two more questions for you, and then we're going to wrap it all up. So my question is, if you could go back and talk to your 500-pound self that wanted you high five, what would you say?
I only have one regret on the journey, and the regret is I didn't start sooner. So I would just tell my old self, start now. Don't wait till it's perfect. Don't wait till like, oh, that vacation is over. Don't wait till after the holidays. Don't wait until like, this busy time of work is over. No, just start. The time is never going to be perfect. That's what I would tell myself. I've seen the future. I'm coming back to tell you, the time is never going to be perfect. Start now because your only regret would be that you didn't start sooner. And so that would be
Amen.
the message that I start to
I
myself. And
love
let
that.
that be the message to you if you're waiting to start. Like if you're waiting until after that thing, I know you wait until after that thing. Don't wait till after that thing. Start now.
Yes. You guys, haven't you enjoyed him? I mean, I've just enjoyed this so much. I haven't even realized the time. But we do have one more question. What is your new goal or your dreams? You've come this far. What's next for you?
That's a really good question. Like I told you, I add things slowly. I've a I do a little jogging. I don't do a lot of jogging intentionally because I feel like at the weight that I was before, like the jogging could be like not good on my joints. But as I've gotten a lot lighter, I want to do things like you see these 5Ks and these 10Ks. I want to do one of
Yes.
those challenges soon. I might even do this one that happens in my community around Thanksgiving. And I've never participated in one, so I want to try one and see if I could do it. By the way, 500 pounds was not even an option. I
I
couldn't even
know.
think about participating in one of those things. And now
Wow.
that I've come down to this weight and I can actually be thinking about those types of things. And so that's one of the goals that I have. I want to participate in one of those 5K, 10K races. Um, Obviously, I now that I can fit in an airplane seat, I've had travel goals. I've just come back from Europe. And so that's been another thing that I can go to different places as well now that I fit. So that's been one of my goals as well. And obviously, I do have more weight to lose. I've come a long, long way. But like I said, my initial goal was to lose 300 total pounds. So I still got 70 to lose in my brain. Maybe it's a little bit less than that because I didn't consider the loose skin, but I still got some to lose. And so I'm continuing to stay consistent and push towards my goals and challenge myself every day to say like, okay, 7 miles is getting easy now. You start waking up earlier and try to get it to 8, right?
Yeah.
And so continually to not just do the same thing over and over, but like continue to push and challenge myself every day because I've learned along this way, you can do hard things, TJ. So don't avoid doing hard things. Embrace it.
Amen.
So yeah,
Amen. What a beautiful, incredible journey we've witnessed today.
yeah.
Before I say our closing, I want to make sure I covered everything, and I want him to share if there's anything else on his mind. This is the time. We want to thank him. We want to really say thank you so much for sharing your beautiful journey with us. I know it was a tough journey, and I know it's not easy. Is there anything else you want to share while we still have our audience with us?
One thing I'll share as well too. Do follow me on the TikTok. We'll
Yes.
share the link. It's TJ200 down. But what I will say is that sometimes it's hard to do by yourself. And one of the things that have helped me a bit in the background is like having an accountability partner. And not necessarily just like someone to talk to 24/7, just someone to share, hey, I actually went out and did the walk today, and share that like that brag with them. And then it feels good. Or, hey, I didn't I messed up today. I went and ordered the pizza and I ate it and I feel bad about it, right? Like, so having an accountability partner you can talk to, find that. And even if you can't find it, find me on TikTok and message me. I will be your accountability partner if you need an accountability partner. I love hearing stories, especially when people are starting. Ask me any advice, ask me any thoughts, ask me any tips. I will share them with you. And if you can't find an accountability partner, you should
I know.
use me. I will help you. So
Yeah. That's beautiful. I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your journey here with my audience, and hopefully those who were listening and how will listen, hopefully you all have enjoyed this beautiful, incredible. This has been an incredible journey that he's been on. And it just reminds us that no matter where we begin, change is possible. When we make a decision, you stay consistent and trust the process. As Coach Percy says, consistency is the cheat code. And don't rush the process, just trust the process.
I
So
like that.
losing 230 pounds isn't just about the number on the scale, it's about regaining life and hope and purpose.
Yeah.
And like TJ, like Cicero said, it starts one small step at a time. And a belief that you can do something better than you did yesterday. Let his testimony inspire you to move forward, whether your goal is physical, spiritual, or emotional healing. Remember, with God, all things are possible. Thank you for joining us today
Amen.
here at Something Better Today with the Bahamian vegan, Marlene McKinney. I've just been so inspired today with his testimony. I know that we're going to have him back. When he reaches his final goal, hey, guys, would you like to have him back? Let me know. Let us know in the chat. If you want to have him back, you have to say yes, yes, yes. Have him back. He's going to come back in a few short months from now saying, hey, guys, I've reached my goal. Hey, and we're
Now I
just
have
going
to
to be
do
happy
it.
to have
Now I have to do it.
But no pressure, no pressure. You've done great. You look amazing.
Thank
You
you.
look amazing. You look a picture of health. And we just pray that you will continue to go forward, continue sharing your story. You inspire me. I'm inspired. I'm so encouraged when I see, especially when I see little Bella, which I wish she were here today, but
No, yeah, she's a
nevertheless,
good
we'll meet
partner.
her on the next interview.
Yeah.
She's just cheering her dad on. I just love that. So I pray that God will continue to keep you and that you will continue on your journey. And we see you next time, right here
It was a
at
pleasure.
Something Better Today with Marlene McKinney, the Bahamian vegan.
What time is it? Right time to look good and feel good. It's challenge time. Get on board with certified health coach Marlene McKinney. Global Weight Loss Challenge. Enjoy vegan meal plans, clean eating, routine exercise with awesome WhatsApp group support. Get excited. Don't hesitate. Register, forward email address via WhatsApp to 242-535-6293 or Marlene_McKinney at live.com. Don't forget to add your name as it appears on your bank card. What time is it? Life-changing time. Join the challenge. Get on board.